Perhaps the most common travel question I get from friends and family is, when should I book my flights? And honestly, I get it. We all want to get the best deal possible, whether that's with cash or points. But here's the problem. There are a lot of outdated myths out there. You've probably heard things like always book on a Tuesday or use an incognito tab. So let's clear this up once and for all and show you the best days to book, the best days to fly, how to find cheap flights any day of the week, the difference between domestic and international flights, and of course, how all of this changes when you're booking with points instead of cash. Let's start with one of the biggest myths in travel, that there's a magical day of the week to book your flights. We've all heard flights are cheapest on Tuesdays at 3 a.m. But I hate to break it to you, that's just not true anymore. Data from Google Flights, NerdWallet, The Points Guy, and yours truly, they all show the same thing. The actual day you book doesn't really matter as much anymore. At most, you'll see a 1 or 2% difference in the price depending on the day that you book, but no life-changing savings here. And the real reason for that shift is that airlines now use dynamic pricing systems, many of which are powered by, you guessed it, AI. In fact, Delta recently revealed they're using AI to constantly adjust fares in real time based on demand, competition, and countless factors based on the individual customer. So yeah, good luck outsmarting that. But it's not all bad news, because the truth is the day you fly actually makes a much bigger difference than the day you book. If you fly on a Friday or Sunday, you're competing with weekend travelers and business commuters, so naturally, higher demand means higher prices. On the other hand, if you can fly midweek, say a Tuesday or a Wednesday, you'll often find some meaningful savings. So if your schedule allows it, shifting your trip by even a day or two can be worthwhile. And thankfully, you don't have to play the guessing game anymore. This is super easy to spot using tools like Google Flights Date Grid or Price Graph, which you can learn more about in our full review of Google Flights here. That's all pretty well-established information though. So the other factor that can have an even bigger impact on price is how far in advance you book, which brings us to the concept known as the Goldilocks window. This is the sweet spot for booking, not too early, but not too late. For domestic flights, that's usually 1 to 3 months before departure, and for international flights, it's more like 2 to 8 months. That being said, if you're traveling during peak seasons like cherry blossoms in Japan or summer in Europe, then you might want to book even further in advance, maybe 6 to 10 months. If you book way too early, airlines haven't released deals yet in most cases and aren't really incentivized to start filling that flight by lowering prices. But if you wait until the very last minute, then prices skyrocket because they know that desperate travelers will pay up. While we're on the topic, it's worth noting that domestic and international flights behave pretty differently. Prices can bounce up and down multiple times in a week, whereas international flights are generally a bit more stable, but you need to plan further ahead. So just remember, not too early, but also not too late, hence the name the Goldilocks window. Fairly simple, but how do you actually find these deals? Well, my number one recommendation is Google Flights, which again, we've done a full review on. It is hands down one of the most powerful tools out there for spotting price trends, and you can pull up the price graph to see how fares change from day to day. You can also use the date grid to compare different travel combinations, and you can set alerts so Google emails you the second the price changes, which has saved me thousands of dollars over the years. But while Google Flights is my go-to for finding cash tickets, insert my shameless plug for Daily Drop Pro for those award booking deals, because it also has built-in alert tools for both cash and award bookings that have personally given me some of the best aviation experiences of my life. Speaking of miles and points, lastly, we should talk about how this all changes when you're booking with points. For cash bookings, you're mostly playing the timing game, watching those Goldilocks windows, setting alerts, and being flexible with your dates. But with award bookings, it's a little bit different. The best availability often shows up when airlines first release their schedules, usually 11 to 12 months before departure. And this is especially true in premium cabins. So if you know you want to fly in business class to Europe next summer, then grabbing those seats as soon as that calendar opens up is often your best bet. But here's the fun part. Sometimes the very best deals actually appear at the last minute. Airlines will release unsold seats to their alliance partners, often just weeks or even days before departure. And this is exactly how I was able to book our last-minute ANA first-class flights to Japan earlier this year. I totally realize that not everyone has that level of flexibility, but if you can make it work, these last-minute deals are some of the best when it comes to award bookings. But whether you're booking with cash or points, if all else fails, be be flexible. Try different departure airports, different return airports, or different dates if possible. Sometimes positioning flights can save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars and even get you a better itinerary. And don't waste your time with myths like using an incognito tab or using a VPN to make it look like you're in a different country. Is there some evidence to support these myths? Maybe, but in my experience, the juice just isn't worth the squeeze. Your time would be much better spent looking for something like mistake fares, and these are rare, but they happen when an airline accidentally publishes the wrong price. And when they do, you can get an insane deal. So keep an eye on our latest deals page over on our website, or if you want custom deals sent directly to your inbox based on your travel preferences, then again, Daily Drop Pro's deals feed is perfect for that as well. But if you prioritize the day you fly over the day you book, keep those Goldilocks windows in mind, and use tools like Google Flights and Daily Drop Pro to spot the best deals and stay a little bit flexible with your travels, then I am confident you will eventually stumble upon a great deal and hopefully make that dream trip of yours a reality. But let me know if there's any deal strategies I may have missed down in the comments, and while you're down there, be sure to check out our top travel credit cards page to start working towards your next welcome offer. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.